So
Too late.
I think he's just reaching and grasping for like, is there anything that you can take back? Anything, any straw that you can give me concerning that?
I mean, you said about he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry.
Right.
He is realizing just how much this is worth. I think he's only just now realizing because he's lost it.
Uh-huh.
It must be he must realize that this is greater than he could have really imagined
Okay.
Mm.
Right.
because the father has now said he's not just blessed, he's going to be blessed. He's
Right.
blessed now and he's going to be blessed in the
Right.
future.
Yeah.
Then there's no ripping it away from him. There's
Mm-mm.
nothing I can say. I don't even have the authority to take it back from him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm the man of the house now.
Right. And I can't even
And
do
I
it.
can't do anything about this
Right.
because it supersedes what I can do.
What is going on, XYZ is an XYZ Nation? We're back with the next episode as we're looking at Genesis chapter 27. And the title is, drum roll please, Stolen Blessings. Stolen Blessings.
Yeah.
So we're glad to have everyone here. We are Generational Scriptures. Once again, we have another guest. We'll talk about our guest in a second here. But there is something that we are supposed to do, and that something is to introduce ourselves. I am the latchkeyed one himself, the former X-Man representing Gen X, all up in the area, Chris. And at the far end, we have...
And I am Maya, the resident millennial.
And today we've got a special guest, one I've been looking forward to having on the podcast. Oh man, he is the pastor of DPCC, but it's not just a pastor. He is the theologian's theologian. He is your favorite preacher's favorite preacher. He's called Old Man, affectionately by his oldest, Papa Coleman by many others. It's my big brother, even though I'm 6 months older. Sitting right here with us, my ace boom coon, Pastor Coleman, Mr. Ron Coleman Sr. in the flesh, in full effect.
Whole
What's
government.
going on, my guy?
It's just me. It's just me, y'all. It's just me. How y'all doing?
I've been plotting this for a while, bro.
He has.
Oh
He almost said it verbatim.
wow. That was an introduction.
Got the applause. Really the applause. Nah, but for real though, thanks for being here.
It's my
Appreciate you.
pleasure.
Appreciate you.
That was my pleasure.
Anything you want to tell the peoples about you?
Uh, I'm just Pastor Ron. Y'all know I love the Word of God
Yes, indeed.
and I love people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Mama Coleman was on too.
Yeah.
His wife.
I heard.
It was last season. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or yeah, last season.
That was impromptu. That wasn't planned. So we ain't had no
Okay.
special introduction.
Yeah, we'll have her back so she can have a special introduction.
Oh man. So we are again thankful and glad that you are willing to go through Genesis chapter 27 with us. I don't think we have anything else to really talk about. Oh, we got our next segment. I almost skipped it again.
Really?
I don't
Interesting.
know why. I think I get excited because we have guests, and I'd be like, "Oh, let's talk." But the segment that we need to get to is the "All right, so boom" segment. There we go. I need some glasses. The "All right, so boom" segment with Miss Moyo.
All right. So Genesis chapter 26. We start off with the famine. This is a separate famine from Abraham's time. Um, during the famine, God starts off with telling Isaac not to leave or go to Egypt, but to go to a land that he's going to show him.
Mm-hmm.
He reiterates the promise to Isaac about blessing him, blessing those who like everyone will be blessed through him, um, multiply his offspring, all of the things that we've talked about this season so far. Isaac settles in Gerar, and in this land you have King Abimelech.
Yep.
Again, we talked about in that chapter that being a title, not necessarily the same Abimelech from Abraham's day.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac is there, he's working, he's doing like living, and they're seeing that God is blessing him
Yeah.
in this land. And they say that in the same year, he reaps 100 times what he sowed,
Right.
which to them is kind of crazy. So the people around are getting jealous. Oh, let me go back a little bit. Before this, we have the whole scenario of him lying about
Yeah.
his
Can't forget
wife
that.
being his sister.
Right.
And it's a little different this time because Rebecca is not his sister at all. So it's not like a half lie like before. This is just a straight, it's just a straight lie this time. And Abimelech calls him out about it and says, why would you do this? He's afraid of being killed by these people over his wife. And they're like, no, Abimelech basically makes a decree that no one should
Right.
take his wife or harm him in any way. Then we see that hundredfold him reaping and sowing. And then we have the Philistines of the land getting jealous. They're envious of everything that Isaac has, and they are clogging up the wells that Abraham dug. They're just kind of harassing him a little bit, and Abimelech tells him, "You got to go. Like you have to leave."
Yeah.
So he leaves, and he goes to settle in the valley of Gerar, and he redigs some of the wells, and he redigs them. They get claimed by other people. Like, no, that's ours. And he's like,
Right.
okay. And he moves on to
Just moves
another
on.
one.
Mhm.
He digs another well. They claim that one as well. And he moves on once more. And he finally digs the third well. No one's fussing over it. So he's like, oh my goodness, God has finally given me peace in this. And that well they call Rehoboth.
Yes.
From there, Isaac builds an altar. He calls upon the name of the Lord. He pitches his tent there. He kind of settles now.
Mm-hmm.
Then Abimelech comes to him with Pical,
Fickle.
Fical,
The commander of
and
the army.
the commander of the army and an advisor.
Yes.
And they are trying to make a peace treaty with Isaac because they're saying, hey, we see that God is blessing you. We just want to make peace with you. And Isaac is like, y'all kicked me out. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, why would I want to do that? And he's like, you know, we're just trying to make peace. And Isaac agrees. He seems to be very agreeable.
Right.
He makes a meal for them. They break bread and they kind of settle. And I think, it ends with Esau marrying
Yes.
2 wives
That becomes
from the
important.
Hittites. And we're told that these wives wreak havoc
Yeah.
for Isaac and Rebekah.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you as always. I think the two things I wanted to just piggyback on. One, it wasn't just that no, how do I say this? It was how um Isaac and Rebecca were found out that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like anybody abducted her or took her in.
Yeah.
It was just that he saw their interactions and was like, wait a second, this don't look right.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And then the other thing I thought was interesting about that I just wanted to piggyback on is it really seems like one of the focuses of that chapter was to sort of paint Isaac in the image of Abraham, so to speak.
Mm.
Like some of the same things that Abraham did, you see Isaac doing. So it is like the transition. He is the rightful one to continue on that journey that the Lord started Abraham back in chapter 11 of Genesis. We see it iterated in chapter 12.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if we good, let's get to reading.
All right.
Wait, Pastor Chris was being PG about it
I was on purpose.
because the scriptures say he was fondling his wife, basically.
Yeah.
I
But
was being
Abimelech
PG.
saw it.
Yeah. I mean,
Did
we
we say
talked.
that? We said that in the
Yeah, we
last
did
one.
say that in the last episode. So yeah, go back to that episode because I think we gave more details about the word that's used and how it's what it actually means.
Yeah, and I was trying to be PG. Thank you. That's why I say it's my big brother. He can do that stuff. I can't. All right.
All right, Genesis chapter 27, verses 1 to 4. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his older son and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here I am." He said, "Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me. And prepare for me delicious food, such as I love, and bring it to me so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die."
Man, we see apparently some time has passed. We got Isaac here. He's older and he's looking to bless his son. His his why is Esau so I don't want to say it. I'll just say it. His favorite son. Because remember, also was called out, I think, in the last chapter
Yep.
that Esau was Isaac's favorite because of his food,
Mm-hmm.
and Jacob was Rebekah's favorite, and we don't get a reason at all. So, what do we see happening in these couple of verses that sort of stand out to you?
Yeah. And I think that was actually, was that chapter 25?
May have been
Yeah, I
25.
think it was 25 when they
Okay.
were born. And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it's his favorite, but he's also the oldest. So we would kind of expect that that's who the blessing goes to. But
Mhm.
Firstborn.
yeah, well, yeah, oldest firstborn. But I think the part that may be strange and what I kept reading is that it seemed that they were doing it secretively. Like it wasn't, everybody doesn't know that this is happening. He's talking to Esau directly. And I don't know if that's normal practice or not.
Yeah. I don't know that he had to make it public. It's Isaac's blessing to give, as I understand it, right? So he doesn't have to announce it to anyone. Um, but you got
Right. And what's problematic though, I think, is that he knows, like you mentioned in chapter 25 about their birth, and there were two nations struggling in Rebecca's womb. He knows that the Lord told her, I think he knows that the one shall be stronger than the other, and that the younger will be, over the older. So if that's the case, why are you giving your blessing to the firstborn when God told them this?
right.
Like this wasn't just somebody saying it. The Lord, it says in 25 and 23, the Lord said to her, two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other. The older shall serve the younger. So if the older shall serve the younger, why is he about to give the blessing to the older?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you think that he knew because it doesn't say that God told
Them.
Isaac. It just says God told her,
It does say
and
he
I
told
struggled with
her.
that.
Yeah.
It does say, but I struggle to think that he didn't know.
If he knew that's really egregious, though,
But
isn't it?
isn't it the same as go back to Genesis, early Genesis with Adam and Eve and God telling him, and then people are like, well, she knew too, or she knew some part of it. It could be a passed down message. It could be
It
that
could
they
be
didn't both get the
Yeah.
message, but I
And
think
she
there's
wasn't
two
even created.
sides.
right,
She hadn't even been created when he told him.
right.
When you follow the chronology, he creates her towards the end after he had told Adam what to do. So he would have to have told his wife. God said, "Don't eat of that tree." And I would think in this case, since it was a birth oracle, that Isaac would have to have known about it by now because they're grown. So, I mean, we don't have an
He's
explicit passage that says God told him,
yeah,
but that he told her and she didn't mention that to Isaac just seems really strange.
yeah. So it'll be interesting as we go through because I struggled with that. I was like, did he know? Because if he knew, it paints things that he's doing in a different light, and I think it could also paint some of the way that you look at what Rebecca's doing. If he is going against what he knows that the Lord has said,
Mhm.
right? Because those are so as we go through, we'll continue to try and flesh that out.
Figure out
That's
if he knows or if he doesn't.
well, I don't know if we'll be able to figure it out
Okay.
because we're not explicitly told
Yeah.
that he knows.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing that he could have known. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But when I think of him knowing, it makes me think of what he's doing differently because he is actually going against, just as Ron said, against what God has said would happen. So why are you going about doing this blessing this way?
Right.
If he didn't know, then he's just doing what he thought was the right custom.
And if he didn't, Esau knows that he sold his birthright.
Yeah, but what Chris talked about in our last episode, that birthright and blessing aren't the same.
Yeah. I didn't think there was a birthright. I thought was what he would get, like the land, like when he said when he sold his birthright, which happened in 25, and then in 26, we see all of the growth that happens with Isaac, and basically um that's what Esau despised, all the growth that you see happening. So I thought birthright was more of the inheritance. Blessing is more of, I thought more of the in but Barak, right? In doing with power. This is what I am asking the Lord to do for you. This is how I want the Lord to set you up. This is what I want the Lord to give you. So I segregated them that way.
And that's fine.
And as we'll see later, sorry to cut you off, but
Good.
he says he stole my birthright and my blessing. So he's looking
Right.
at them
So
as
it's two different things. That's fine. But the blessing normally would go to the firstborn.
Yes,
Because
I
the
agree.
firstborn would have all the rights and he would get the double portion
Yes,
of the inheritance to
Agreed.
distribute to his brothers, his siblings. In this case, he only has one, Jacob.
hmm
But in chapter 25, we know that the Lord revealed that the younger would
Yeah.
be the stronger. So why would you give the blessing to Esau? And then Esau conceals that he sold his birthright. He doesn't tell his
He doesn't.
dad evidently that, yeah, one day when I was in the field, I was about to die. I made a little deal with my brother.
Right.
You sure you want to give this blessing to me? He didn't do that.
No, not
He
at
didn't
all.
even think about it. He was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go make this meal. Dad's gonna give me everything. I'm gonna be good. But
Yeah.
that's not how the Lord had planned it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but I think what you're saying is he could have given up his birthright. So um Jacob gets all of the things that his father has right now.
Mhm.
But for future, for the blessing, we're talking about like the covenant blessing is part of it, right? Who is going to pass, who is going to be the rest of this line that we're tracking.
Right.
And then also just future,
Yep.
you get to be rich, you power over all your people. Like
Yeah.
those blessings are for
Right.
the future.
So can we slow down because I feel like we're getting way ahead of what we're reading.
Yeah.
So, but no, I want to definitely talk about this, but I want to talk about it in the context of the verses that talk about what the blessing is.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. All right. So with this, we just know that, and we had the discussion about what Isaac knew and how it sort of paints the color of what Isaac is doing if he knew.
Yeah.
But he is getting ready to give the blessing, and he's just getting ready to set up um, all that needs to be done, and he's asking for something in terms of getting that blessing, right? He's asking his son to do something for him,
hmm
right? And why is that sort of important based on what we know about the two brothers?
He loved Esau's food,
Right.
so he wants the food that Esau gets for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's how significant that is. Like, does he need to hunt to go get this food to cook you the food that you like?
Right. I think that's what he's asking. Go get some game. Go hunt. Go out in the field.
Do the manly stuff.
Do all the manly stuff that you do,
Yeah,
and bring me back some food. Food that I love.
but you can't really tell what it is.
I'm just saying. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Food that I love. That's why he said the word says that he loved Esau because he loved his food.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be interesting to your point when we read what's getting ready to happen.
And he considered him the firstborn.
Yeah, he is the firstborn.
So I'm gonna set you up, but I want to have a meal with you first.
And that's well within his rights.
Yeah.
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 When Isaac says that he's old and he doesn't know how long he should live, do we think that means that he's expecting his death to be soon,
I
or
think
just
so.
that he wants to get things in order prior to because of his health type of thing?
I think he definitely thinks that he's about to die soon. Yeah.
We talked, I don't know who was here, but we talked about what does aging look like in Genesis, because we just hear this person lived this long, then they die. This
Mhm.
person lives this long, they die. And we haven't really seen aging, like for someone to lose their eyesight and be weak. So this is like the first time where it's like he's old, he can't see. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
you can't see. Like I thought they would just be good because that's how it's been coming off. Like, oh, you just live till your good old age and then you die.
Yeah. But I think one of the things to think about when we see that, and I think we see that a lot in genealogies. And the point of that genealogy is just to, I think, emphasize the death because of the sin that happened, that dying you shall die. So everybody's going to die, aside from the Lord just taking up a couple of folks. And Jesus, and well, Jesus still dies. Um, but it's not meant to say what it's like when you
Yeah.
get old.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it. And I think this is here because it goes into the overall story that's being told. So yeah, Isaac, his eyes were dim.
Yeah.
He was old in age. He's worried about dying, knows he's going to die, knows he's got that path to follow, and he wants to set up, his sons.
Yeah.
His son, not his sons.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was just thinking it's interesting because when we talked about like Noah and he's
Mm-hmm.
building an ark at this old age,
Yeah.
but here Isaac can't even see
Can't
at
see.
whatever age he is, 100 and something, or
Mm-hmm.
because people are looking forward at when he actually died. He
Mm-hmm.
dies at, I think they said 180, and then they're
Yeah.
backtracking to, okay, how old was he here?
Mm-hmm.
So he had a good amount of years still after this scenario. So he's basically kind of blind for a lot of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
aging wasn't as easy as I was thinking it was. Like you weren't just
nah.
150 and just like running around.
Right. Is that what's your take? Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're getting further away from creation. So when you were talking about Noah was 500 years old when he, you know, when he comes on the scene and we start talking about him, and he's got these three sons, and so he's in good shape, it seems, to build an ark,
Mhm.
with his sons probably helping him, maybe even more people helping him, even though they didn't believe in it. But you know, when you the further you go back toward creation, the ages are longer, and then they kind of come, like, after the flood, they kind of come to a screeching halt, and they don't go as long, and so Abraham doesn't live past 200, and Isaac's not going to live that long either because it's so far past the flood, and now people are dying sooner and sooner and sooner, and nobody, people aren't living to be 500, 600, 800,
Yeah.
969 years old like Methuselah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the life expectancy has decreased sharply after the flood, and with each generation it gets less and less.
Yep.
You know,
And quality of life is
yeah,
decreasing just as fast.
yeah, quality is definitely. I mean, except for God endowing the patriarchs with supernatural, you know, staying power,
Mm.
because like you said, Abraham dies in a good old age. I don't I don't know if you characterize everybody as dying good and old,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Abraham does, and Isaac kind of does too, even though his life expectancy is shortened. And
Mhm.
and Jacob, when he, I mean, you all have already had when Jacob gets close to death, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's leaning on his staff, and he's got a
Yeah.
limp, and
Yep.
and things aren't. He's like, yeah, haven't attained as much as my
Yep. Enemies
forefathers did.
follow.
So
Yep.
he's feeling the effects of sin on the human race as well.
Yeah.
And I believe it also said when Joseph was blessing um Ephraim
Manasseh.
and Manasseh that his eyes were dim.
Joseph?
I
Or
thought
when
it said something
Jacob?
like no,
It's
Jacob,
Jacob because he did the
Jacob. I'm sorry.
hands,
Yeah,
cross
when he
hands.
crossed his hands,
Yeah.
and I think even then it was talking about
Yeah, because they
his
thought he
eyes
couldn't
being dim.
see, but he was like,
Right?
"Nah, I know what I'm
Nah,
doing."
I'm good. I
Yeah.
know who.
Yeah.
Understood what Isaac was supposed to understand. The younger
Right,
should be
right.
before the older. It's interesting. One last thing. Should we take anything away from when he says that my soul may bless you before I die? Should we take anything from that? Because soul is nefesh, right?
Mhm.
That's the word. But my take is I don't think so. I think it's just trying to I that I may bless you or my soul may bless you are pretty interchangeable. He's just trying to say I want to give you all that I have to give type of thing.
Mm.
This is my take on that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it any deeper than that.
Okay. Anything else on these several verses?
Nope.
All right. Next up, I'm going to read Genesis chapter 27, verses 5 through 13. Now, Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, I heard your father speak to your brother Esau. Bring me game and prepare for me delicious food that I may eat it and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock and bring me 2 good young goats, so that I may prepare for them delicious food for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies. But Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him and bring a curse upon myself, and not a blessing. His mother said to him, let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go, bring them to me. So we get to the next set, and we see Rebecca orchestrating some things. Rebecca sort of ear hustling, is what I call it. Reminds me of Sarah
Yeah.
when she was sort of it's a little different. I don't know if Sarah was ear hustling, so to speak, or she was just in a specific place where she could overhear what was being said. But both of them were hearing things that I'm not sure were meant for them to hear.
In Sarah's case, her wasn't her ear to the tent, like she was in the tent and like listening is how I remember that. But this one it sounds like she like I'm listening, like maybe you don't know if I'm around, but I can hear you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she was sneaking to hear or if she just happened to be walking by and oh, he's talking to Esau. Let me listen.
Yeah.
Either way, it wasn't it wasn't supposed to be heard by you.
Right. I'm not sure if this was intended for your
Right.
ears.
Yeah.
Meant for her.
But one thing, as we walk through this, I don't know if you all had this same thought, but when okay, say it this way: when you watch like TV shows and they're like mysteries,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you as the viewer have all the knowledge, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as we go through this, Rebecca has the knowledge of everything that's going on, and so she gets to move the pieces around that she sees
Mm-hmm.
and desires to get the outcome she wants, which is interesting to me because it's just interesting because she just knows everything that's going to happen. So as we read it, I mean, see if you all think the same thing or how that falls out.
Well, the narrator knows everything.
Yes,
Rebecca knows from chapter 25 what God told her.
right.
So she's acting based on what she knows to be true that God told her. Because if Esau gets this blessing, in her mind at least, what God said is not going to happen.
Okay.
That's what I think she's basing her actions off of. Because God told her younger is supposed to be over
Yes.
the older. He's gonna be the greater son, basically. So if Isaac blesses Esau with this blessing, he automatically gets a double portion of the inheritance. The firstborn is supposed to get that. in their culture,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what God said was going to happen. And so she's going to take steps in her mind to ensure that what God says is going to happen is going to actually happen. That's what she seems to be thinking because she heard what was said to Esau. Jacob wasn't around. He didn't hear.
Yep.
He can't contest it.
Yep.
So if Esau makes it back to this tent with this venison at the right time, he's going to get the blessing.
Yeah.
He's going to get the rights of the firstborn conveyed to him. He's going to get the birthright blessing. And in her mind, at least, God's plan will be thwarted.
Mm.
All right.
So she's going to act to make that not happen. Now, she doesn't know that God, even though he has said what he said, that he may be using her actions, unbeknownst to her, to accomplish his will.
Exactly.
So she gonna do like Sarah did. We're gonna help God out.
Mm.
Take your servant Hagar.
Right.
We're gonna help God
We're
out
gonna
because
help God.
evidently God must have missed something.
All right.
No, God knows exactly what He's doing.
Yes.
Because He
agree.
says it before they're even born.
Right.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
So that we have to remember that God is basically narrating this through Moses, and basically saying, okay, this is what I plan to do. And he gave her that information. And what she does with that is what she does with that. That's why I say I think Isaac knew and kind of ignored it. Esau may not have known either, but Esau knew that he sold his birthright.
Yeah.
He knew that for sure. He didn't forget.
No.
He just conveniently left that part out when he heard what his father said. He's like, well, yeah. I sold my birthright. So why are you giving me the blessing?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do that. He's like, I'm gonna take what's mine, even though he knew he sold it. He sold the birthright. So when we get a little further, and he's like blaming Jacob, hold up a second, Jacob, you say he cheated you, but did he cheat you? It was your birthright. He couldn't have taken it from you.
Mm-mm. Unless you did what you did.
But God had taken it from him.
All right.
That's the question.
No, and so I see what you're saying. You got something you want to chime in on?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. I just started thinking again about Esau's wives,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about them like Abraham didn't want Isaac to marry someone from the people they lived amongst because of we assume because of the blessing and keeping everything in this same line, right? Is Isaac thinking about that at all? Is that a part of why it should be this son versus this son, other than God saying this is what it's supposed to be? Did Esau do that because I don't have my birthright? I don't really care about this stuff. I'm gonna marry who I want to marry, and this is who's here because they're the same age. They're twins. Esau already has two wives, and Jacob is just there.
Yeah, I guess so. He didn't get out much. He liked to be in the house.
Well,
Right? He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm here. He's playing his PS5. He chilling.
yeah, maybe.
He's not playing a PS5, folks. That's me trying to be funny.
Yeah.
So
So I just thought about like it couldn't have been if it went to Esau, if the birthright somehow or the blessing went to Esau, does that then mess up I don't know, because then
So-
God would make it work another way.
thank you. That's exactly what I'm getting ready to get to. Right? Because what you said, Ron, is interesting because it gets to, and y'all need to go back and watch season 1 because I'm gonna bring up another parallel with season 1 where, and I'm glad Ron is here because I can do this and I know he won't get lost on it, right?
Mhm.
But remember, chapter 38 of Genesis, Judah had promised Tamar?
Yes.
Tamar, his son.
Mm-hmm.
Tamar did some things that weren't upright
Mm-hmm.
to rectify and get a situation that was promised to her,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Earlier, and Ron just brought it up with Hagar. Not Hagar, but Sarai saying, I don't have a child yet. I'm going to go and do this thing to try and get a child and move this plan forward. And we had the same debate, Ron, just so you know. Like the Lord told Abraham, chapter 17, that the seed, the son, the chosen son that I have is going to come from your wife, Sarah. By that time, he had changed the names.
Right.
So,
But
did
he told him that after Hagar's situation.
right after the
Before
Hagar
that, it was just
situation,
a son. You're
right?
gonna have a son. You're gonna have a son. You're gonna have
Yeah,
a son.
'cause
Like he
she was
said it a bunch
already
of
she was
times.
always barren.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But my point is that Hagar, that Sarah didn't know that did say what Sarah moved in such a way that makes it seem like she was helping God and moving it forward without knowing that whether it was her or whether being a surrogate or having a surrogate, someone else to have the child, would carry this promise forward.
Wow.
And I think here we're seeing the same type of thing. She's stepping in and carrying some things out.
Thinking that this
This
was
is
about
this
to be
is
thwarted.
so that's my question. Like, is this because she loved Jacob? Not get my names. Yeah, Jacob
Mhm.
more so than Esau and wanted him to have the blessing because of that? Or is she really thinking that she's helping the Lord out? Because people move in ways that I need to help God. But the bottom line is God's going to be able to work it out
Right.
anyway. I mean,
But
whether
that's
you move or not in that way.
but that's if you're trusting God. You're thinking, I don't have to do anything. If you're trusting God. And that's what's happened in all of these stories. Sarah had a lapse in judgment, a lapse in faith.
Right.
Um, God never said, get another person.
Right. I agree.
God told them
Mm-hmm.
that they were going to have a child. They have to in order for the promise
In
to be
order for the
fulfilled.
promise. Right.
So, because it took so long, Sarah improvised.
Yes.
It's a lapse in faith. Well, I think that's kind of what's happening with Rebekah. God never told her to do anything about this situation.
Yes.
But she takes upon herself because of what she heard was going on in that tent with Isaac and Esau. I have to do something, or else what God said is not going to happen.
Okay.
Whether she loves him or not is that's true. She does love.
Yeah.
They do play favorites.
Yes.
The two of them do that.
And
God never
one
told
on
them
each
to
side.
be, have favorite sons, but they
Exactly.
do,
Agreed.
right? So she's acting out of her love for her son, but she's also acting because she was told something before he was born because she went to inquire of the Lord. Why is this happening to me? Why are these two children beating each other up in my
In my
womb?
womb. Right.
Yeah.
And she was told because they're going to struggle for the supremacy, but I'm giving it to
He's
the younger
chosen.
one.
Right.
I'm doing that.
Right.
So, and we call this concept election.
Yeah.
God chooses
Mm-hmm.
who he wants to be who he wants to carry out his will.
Yep.
That's God doing that.
Yep.
Now, we think we have to help God, like in the case of Abraham and Sarah
Mm-hmm.
and Hagar, but we don't.
Yeah.
God's going to do what God's going to do. But what's interesting about the whole situation, this one and the prior one with Abraham and Sarah, is that God will use even evil actions to
Yes.
accomplish his will.
Yes.
He knows what's going to happen.
Yep.
He knows that Sarah's going to hear, Rebecca's going to hear this conversation between Isaac and Esau.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to act.
And she won't be able to. Right.
Can God use evil acts to accomplish his will? Of course he can. He has to because that's all we produce. For the most part, we produce evil acts. Abraham, why are you going to go get another woman to be your wife, the servant, Hagar, when you already have a wife?
You're right.
She can accomplish God's purpose just as easily as anybody else
Mm-hmm.
because God can do anything.
Yeah.
So why does Rebecca think she has to do this? Because she has a lapse in faith and she thinks I'm gonna have to help God out because he ain't making this go the way it's supposed to go.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna help him out a little bit because I overheard something. That's not an accident that she overheard it. That's why
Yeah.
it's in the story. And so the narrator is seeing all events at all times, and the narrator is saying, "This is what happened." She heard that, so
Yeah.
she acted.
Yeah. I get that. That makes sense. I think it still comes down to me. Who knows what? If if Um, Rebecca knows. I mean, Rebecca does know. Rebecca may be helping. If Isaac knows the blessing, then it should be a different outcome. I can get with Rebecca knowing the blessing and want to help, air quotes for those who listen. Let's say I did that that time. Um, um, and it could, so there could be a joint thing going on there where I want to help, air quotes, God, and um, I love Jacob more.
Yeah.
So I want him to be the one that gets this blessing. All right, I can get with that. So what else? So she tells Jacob what she heard. What about her plan?
Plan was a complete deception.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Her plan is to deceive her husband.
The the interesting thing is, I think this is almost foreshadowing. Let me know what you all think because we look back at Laban and we
Mhm.
had the question. Remember when we look back at Laban when Abraham's servant went to find a wife and put on Aram, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
And then they're like one night they're like, oh yeah, take her, and then the next day they're like, no, stay 10 days and make the decision, right? And they have the back and forth. She makes a decision and they leave immediately because the servant's like, nah, you made a decision. I gotta go. I can't stay here.
Mhm.
And then when you think forward to some of the things that Laban does, it almost seems like there's
That's how this
a
family works.
right. That's how they work.
People
And
work, right?
we didn't and we I didn't notice about Rebecca, right? 'Cause we don't learn a whole bunch about her other than she's beautiful, she's a maiden, she's of age to get married,
Yeah.
and then that um, Isaac sees her and loves her. But we see here that she's got some uh some finesse to her. She can finesse situations and think on her feet and do some of those things. Even when you go back and you think about the way that the birthright was handled, right? There was an opportunist type of moment for Jacob.
Mhm.
Esau comes in, he's hungry. Hey, this is a moment for me to take advantage of this situation.
And he didn't deceive him now.
He didn't deceive him, but I definitely agree with that. But I think what we said, Moyo, was that he could have just said, "Okay, you my brother. I'm gonna give you some food because you're hungry."
Could have.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that.
But he wanted something.
He was like, "I'm gonna take this situation and use it
Yeah. To his advantage.
gain something out of
Yeah.
this." Right?
He was a civilized guy. He sat in the house. He thought about stuff. Like, how am I gonna get this birthright?
How am I gonna get this?
Well, he likes to go hunting all the time. I bet he's really hungry when he comes back. I'll be waiting for him one day.
Yep.
So he does similar thing. I mean, he doesn't actually deceive him now. He
No,
just
not
like
necessarily
presents
deceiving.
him with an option.
Right.
Give me this or find your own food. Basically, is
Come
the
up
option.
off that birthright, homie.
And I think the narrator or God is telling us this is the kind of person Esau is because it says he despised his birthright
Right.
after he sold it to him. He despised his birthright. I'm like, that's showing us the kind of character he is. For a meal, I'm gonna give up my birthright. What does that mean? I'm gonna get the inheritance that my dad is due to give me as the firstborn. Well, with that comes the blessing of passing down the covenantal, blessing
Mhm.
has given the family to him, but that's not what God's plan is.
Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all.
But it does show his character.
I won't blame you for this one, Mario, but I said that Esau is a pragmatist. He's like, I'm hungry right
Yeah.
then and there. I need food. Give me food.
Yeah. And I think
What's
we talked about like, is it even possible? Can you just give up your birthright? Or is he thinking these are just words? Sure. Like, have it. It is what it is. Just like he was willing to just go take the blessing because nobody knows but the two of us. So I'm selling you, quote unquote, my birthright, but uh,
But
who
but
cares?
he can do that. I mean, there's instances in the scriptures where people transfer their birthrights. So you have to be careful about like Reuben lost his birthright
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
Reuben was a
because
different
he did
animal, man.
something bad.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. He went to his father's couch and his father knew about it and was like, okay, I'm not going to punish you now, but when it's time to dole out the blessings to these 12 boys,
Right.
Yeah.
you're going to get demoted.
Right.
You can't be the firstborn.
No.
And so it was transferred to Joseph. Well, it can be transferred. Now, this is the only instance where the actual person who
Did.
has the
Right. That's what I was
birthright
going to say.
transfers it. But legally, you have to think he's the one who's due to be in control of the household. So he can do with his birthright what he wants, evidently.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he carelessly sells it to his brother for a meal.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jacob says to him, Jacob said, "Swear to me now." So he swore to him and sold him his birthright.
Right. It
Mhm.
was it
Yeah.
wasn't just
Well,
Right.
the thing is, any other agreements we've made, right, are either they're in the presence of someone else, or we talk about people being at the gate, and this is
Where
where
they do
business
business.
happens.
Right.
People have to come and see that this is happening.
Right.
In this scenario, it sounds like it's just the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I sell you my birthright by word. Do I have to keep my word?
that's why he swore.
Yeah. That's why I had him swear.
That's why he had him swear.
Now,
People swear all the
I
time.
get that, right? Because
Well,
who says that he couldn't have gone out and been like, "No, I didn't do that."
Yeah.
But the point is that he did swear
Which is,
to
but
it.
that goes back to what Papa Coleman is saying about he was going to go take the blessing. He's like, okay, I'll go hunt and I'll go do the thing so I can get the blessing, not even caring about the fact that you sold your birthright. Because in my head, I'm still the firstborn. Whatever I told Jacob doesn't really matter. Like, my daddy don't know, he's the one giving it.
right. He ain't telling nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But just because he didn't tell anybody
It
doesn't
doesn't
mean it's
mean
not
as
true
Yeah.
that he didn't do it. And
Yeah.
Jacob is not being given the opportunity here by Esau or Isaac to present a case at all.
Yeah, and I think in the beginning I was saying that this seems like it's being done in secret. If he would have brought the family and said, "I'm going to bless Esau,"
Mhm.
Jacob could have said, "Hold on,
You
he sold me his
birthright.
birthright," or Rebekah could have said, "Wait a minute, God said this," but that's not happening. It seems like real shady. Like, everything about it is shady.
And we don't know exactly if Isaac was doing it in secret to keep it from him, but if he knew about it, it might be plausible that he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Because I just find it very not plausible that he didn't know about what God told Rebecca.
And
Like Rebecca would have said that to him sometime. Look, guess what? My God said my son, my favorite son, gonna get the. I mean, she would have said something. I would think in all that time,
yeah,
because this is years and years later.
yeah. And the other scenario we're in this so far that we've talked about blessings being given out, it's either God giving a blessing or in the presence of the family. So, like, even when Abraham gives out blessings, right? He's giving Isaac, Ishmael, and then he said he gives gifts to Ishmael and the other brothers, but it seems more like everybody's getting everything. We all know what we got. And then he sends them away.
Yeah. But so this is formal blessing though.
Yeah.
All right,
Is
this is
this
off
not
the
a formal?
rails.
Is this not formal?
This is off the rails because we talking about stuff that ain't happening until later. So it is what it is at this point. But this is a formal blessing. When I say that, what I mean, and you all let me know if I'm getting this off, right? All aside, and I was thinking about this. Aside from Noah, when do we get before this a father blessing a son? And even in Noah's case, it was more out of rage than necessarily saying, "I'm blessing you for a future thing." I get that it may have been part of the culture. That's why we see people doing it, but it's not been recorded in scripture that I can remember up until this point.
But if I'm not mistaken, Shem is the older anyway. He was going to get it anyway.
Yeah, I get that. So, and it's fine for him. So in that case, it wasn't a usurping isn't the right word, a reversal, right? An election
No.
thing. Because Shem was going to get it, but the whole point of that coming out and us being told that is because he was mad at Canaan.
Yeah, I mean, he curses the grandson
Yes.
because of what the son does.
Yes.
Okay. So curse be Canaan,
Yes.
not curse be Ham, right? Because
Yeah.
Ham was the one that
Agreed.
actually committed the infraction.
Agreed.
And then he curses the grandson based on the tendency that he might be taught from his father,
Okay.
Ham.
Okay.
Okay. and Shem was the firstborn, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And so he would have gotten the covenantal blessing anyway.
Anyway.
Okay. And then, of course, the Messiah comes down through the Shemites.
Yes.
All right.
Agree.
Eventually. But you said, where else do we see
Where else
that?
do we
Like
see the
before that?
father giving the blessing? And I'm counting Noah as a sense, in a sense, of giving the blessing to his son, even though it
Right,
came
right,
through a
right. And he
different
does. He
different
gives that
means,
blessing.
right?
Right. But even if you go before that,
Mm-hmm.
Adam, when they named the descendants, they named the boy through whom the covenantal blessing flows.
Okay.
Okay. They don't even name the other sons.
I agree.
Okay, in Genesis chapter 5.
Yeah, we
Right.
talked about that. Yep.
Right, right. So Adam has Seth, and Seth has his
Mhm.
Enos, and Enos has so and so,
Right.
and then we know that it's still the godly line
Right.
because eventually we get to Enoch, and Enoch walks with God, and he was not.
Right.
And then we keep going, and we get all the way down to Methuselah,
Right.
and he dies in the year of the flood, and Noah
Yep.
finds grace in the eyes of the Lord,
Yes.
and he passes to Shem, and on and on and on down to Abraham,
Yes.
and now to Isaac. Um, Hagar's son will not be the one through whom your seed will be called.
Agreed.
But in Isaac shall your seed be called,
Yes.
says God, right? So now God says to Isaac, okay, the younger son, which is going to be called Jacob, before they're even born, God says he's going to
rule.
be the one.
Right. He shall the
Okay.
younger shall the older shall serve the younger.
Right. So that means that the one who was to be called Jacob is the one who will inherit the blessing.
Agreed.
Even though he's not the actual firstborn,
Yeah.
and even though it's not his birthright, but God says, nah, he's gonna be
He's
the
gonna be
one,
the one.
the younger one. And then after Jacob, you would, according to their tradition, Reuben, the firstborn,
He
should
got
be,
disqualified.
but he gets disqualified, and
Agreed.
it goes to another firstborn, which is Joseph. Remember, Joseph is the older son of
Yeah,
the other wife,
I know.
the loved wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he has a firstborn right. He's just not the firstborn of the firstborn.
But where does Judah? Because Judah, to me, has the greater
And
blessing
that's
out of
the
all
that's
of
the
the
elected
sons.
one,
Right. That's who I would have
Right.
thought would be the elected one is Judah because of what he's talked
Well,
about with
Judah
the
was the
scepter,
elect.
and what I thought is, if I remember correctly, Judah was supposed to rule over all his sons.
Yeah, Judah gets the kingly seed,
Yes,
but not Joseph.
agreed.
Even though Joseph gets the blessing that Reuben should have gotten, and Manasseh
And Ephraim.
Are you saying because he
Ephraim.
got a double? Is that what we're saying? Because he got the double portion split between his
Right,
children?
right.
Okay,
It was
okay,
split
gotcha.
between the two
Right.
half tribes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But the kingly seed, the Messiah, is still called through Judah, all because God is working his purpose of election.
I agree.
Right. And he does that through Isaac
Mm-hmm.
and now through Jacob.
Right.
Even though it's funny circumstances.
Yeah, I get all that,
Right.
but what I'm saying is, I can't remember a father
Doing the blessing
doing the blessing
outside.
aside from Noah.
Right.
Did it
We're not told,
right? We're not
but
told.
we see it
We
through
know,
the sons who
and
are named.
even when this started, I found it interesting when we meet, where we went, was that 25, where we talked through the death of Abraham. One of the last things it says right before you get into his death is that God blessed Isaac.
Right.
So to me, boom, that's it right there.
He
That
was
is
the
the
chosen
blessing
one.
that's the ultimate.
Yeah.
Everything else is going to fall in line with that by hook or by crook, right? There's
But
no
it was
way.
told to Abraham.
But yeah, and so yeah, from Abraham's standpoint, that's his only. Well, that's not his only
Yeah,
son,
because
but
he's got Ishmael.
he knew it because he shipped everyone else
Right.
away and gave him
Because God
everything.
told
Gave
him,
him
through Isaac shall your seed be called.
right.
Not through
So
Ishmael.
so from Isaac's standpoint, I don't know, and because it's not recorded that Abraham blessed him, I took it as God blessed him.
Mhm.
And boom, that's the blessing that Isaac received. And now we see Isaac in his as a father saying, I want to bless my son.
And that should be the blessing from God is really the blessing that we should be looking at for who's continuing this lineage versus the blessing that Isaac is going to give to Esau's or
Wow.
Jacob.
I
Is that
think it's a combination of
Yeah,
things,
I
right?
think they're the
Because
same, one and the same.
right, because yeah, true. And to what Ron said earlier, and we said this even when we were looking, go back and check out season one, even in season one, because all the things, remember Joseph came up and he was like, y'all are gonna bow before me, right? All y'all haystacks, and then the sun, moon, and all the stars bow.
mm-hmm,
And that, although may have been a dream from the Lord showing Joseph what would eventually come,
mm-hmm,
there was a bunch of stuff he had to go through that was set up by his brothers and all these different circumstances that sort of line up with what we're seeing here, right? It's a lot of names, y'all. Bear with me. Rebecca is doing some things that aren't right in my mind,
mm-hmm,
but God is able to work through them to make sure that what he has promised and what he has said would come to pass in terms of having this line of people that would ultimately result in Jesus,
yeah,
right? Um, Same thing with Joseph, and we said one of the things that that the Lord did with Joseph was put him in a situation where he could take care of the tribe of Israel, of all the families. So they came and they lived with him. Well, he did that by the nefarious means of his brothers, who all at one point wanted to kill him. Then they decided to sell him into slavery, and then even going through having to deal with Potiphar's wife. Then even going having to go through, dealing with potential with being forgotten for a couple of years by the two people that came in, the baker and the person that handled the wine for the
yeah,
king.
cupbearer.
Yeah, the cupbearer. So God is able and does work all of these things out, even in light of, just as you said, Ron, people being people, people doing the things that we do,
Yeah,
Right.
right?
They're definitely going to sin. And I think one of the lessons throughout all these stories, too, is God is showing that they are, in fact, elect, and that He's chosen them not because they are moral people,
mm,
not because they do righteous things, not because they get it right. That's not why God chose them.
Mm-hmm.
But He chose them because He wanted to. It
Right.
was completely up to God who He chose.
Right.
yeah,
Abraham, Isaac,
Yep.
Jacob.
Noah.
Abraham liked to lie about his wife. Isaac lied about his wife.
Yep.
Jacob was
Is
in
want
on
to
the
do some
deception,
stuff. Yep.
right? And then God shows him you can't operate like that later
Right.
on, like we were mentioning before when he went to Laban's house and Laban
Mm-hmm.
deceived him. Well, that's not how God wants you to operate, and you're not going to be able to operate that like that and
Right.
carry my covenantal blessing with you. So
Right.
yeah,
God changed his character and showed him a better way. Just trust me. That's the point of
Of
most of
most
this
of
is
this.
you need to trust me.
Agreed.
I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do.
Agreed.
Are you going to trust me to do it in your life
Right.
and with your life?
Right. And I think to piggyback on that, the idea is that what you see in a majority of the cases is eventually this sort of growth,
Yeah,
because we talked about it with Abraham. We're jumping all over the place through all the seasons. But we talked about it with Abraham and with Isaac. The pinnacle moment is when the Lord said to him, basically, go to this place where I'm going to show you and sacrifice your son. And we talked about it in the podcast. That sacrifice didn't mean some cut on the leg. It meant cut him open and burn everything.
mm,
Isaac was, by all intents and purposes, supposed to be God, but Abraham, you see the growth, and I don't want to know if I would say completion, but you see the growth in his faith, and
maturity.
the trust in the Lord that he's like, I don't know how, but you promised me a great nation. You promised me this land. You promised me that through the
Through Isaac.
nations, that the world would be blessed through me. So somehow, some way, you're gonna carry it out, and that's the
yeah,
trust that we see. And I think as we go through Jacob's life, we're going to see him grow and change and exhibit
Because
that
he's
same
young.
amount
He's
of faith.
young at this point. He's
Right?
just doing what his mama told him to do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, this is. Whew, I'm excited, y'all.
But
I'm
they
about
all
to
have to
start
mature.
dancing.
They all have to mature in faith.
Yeah.
yeah,
All of them. Even
Yep.
though Abraham, when we meet Abraham, he starts out in faith. He
Mm-hmm.
still is young in his faith.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
to mature in faith.
And it doesn't change even in the New Testament, because I would get hung up on this a lot, right? Let me know what you all think. That you meet when the disciples, soon to be apostles, meet Jesus, they keep saying over and over, and they believed him and they believed him, but then there would be questions, and I'm like, if you believe, why are you questioning it? But they have
That's
to
what they're
grow.
doing.
Yeah.
They have to grow, so it doesn't
Right.
change.
Yeah.
So I even think that's for us now, that we have to grow in our faith. It's a muscle that needs to be strengthened, and it's strengthened as we encounter things in our lives, and we have to depend on the Lord to help get us through. So, all right, let's get back on the rails. This might be a 5-hour podcast if we keep going at this rate.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stop?
No, you good. This is all good stuff. It might be like 2 or 3 shows up in this one. So we hear the plan that is set up by Rebekah. We hear Jacob's response. His initial response is interesting to what he wants, um, to what he says, to the plan, excuse me, that Rebecca puts out there, because he knows there's some differences. And
Hmm.
and do you remember the differences, Moyo? Sort of, we aren't told about all of them, but we're shown that they're different even from their birth, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Esau was born hairy and red.
Right.
And
Mhm.
I mean, they just told us Isaac was holding his heel, but I guess we would just assume he's not hairy because
Right.
they didn't say he
He's
was
he's
hairy.
not that way.
Sorry,
And
yeah.
yeah.
Jacob.
Oh, did you do
I
that?
know. Mix the names up.
You sound like
There's too
me.
many of these people at this point.
Told you. We're all
But
over the
yeah,
place. I'm
Jacob.
like, I can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing. We also alluded to the other thing earlier. Like, one wanted to be out in the field,
Hmm.
one liked to be in the house, one was
Mhm.
loved by Esau, the other one was loved by Rebecca.
Yeah.
So we're continuing to see all of these differences between the brothers, and here we just see another one, which to me, we talked about Rebecca sort of having this mind to finesse things. We already know that Jacob can do it as well. So he's also has a mind where he thinks
Thinking
through
ahead. Yeah.
things, and he's a, I don't want to call him a schemer, but he's just really thoughtful, and I think we'll see that come up as we go further and further in his travels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that he's not really a schemer, and many people when they read these stories, and I've heard many people preach from these texts,
Uh
and
huh.
they call him a schemer. They say Jacob means conniver. I'm like, well, no, it actually doesn't mean that. It was reinterpreted by Esau when he got mad that Jacob stole his birthright and his blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Then the negative connotation
Came on.
of the meaning of Jacob came about. But before that, it just means he was the heel catcher. And
Yeah.
because of when he was born, he had his brothers healed because they were struggling in the womb, and he's like, I want to go out first. And Esau's like, no, I'm going first. And he'd catch him by the heel. As soon as he came out, he still had a hand on his heel. So Jacob doesn't mean something bad until Esau renames it in this episode and says, well, well, he was well named Jacob. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not because something Jacob means something bad, because that's what you're reinterpreting to mean based on the situation that happened to Esau.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. um.
So we're at 14.
No, just last thing. Mom takes
Oh,
all the responsibility.
yeah.
To me, that,
That was
what
dangerous.
what do you think about that, Moyo?
I mean, I feel like she felt her plan was gonna work, so
He was
put
like,
it on me.
if it goes south,
I got you.
I got you.
And what does she have to lose?
I mean, it depends.
Let the curse be on me.
That's a wild thing to say.
It
But I
is.
don't know what it means for a woman though. Because women at this point, everything is through the men. Like, okay.
And she can't get any lower.
Yeah, pretty
Oh
much.
gosh.
But I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, she could die or become a sojourner somewhere else far from her family, but I think that's a risk she's willing to take.
Actually, when we get to the end, I think that she does take some else that she doesn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also think that now, I was about to say Joseph, I caught myself. That now Jacob is in a position where he can reap all the benefits and not deal with any of the repercussions.
Yeah. In theory.
Yeah, in theory, like from a human standpoint.
Yeah.
But God is the one orchestrating this thing, so you're going to be accountable to God no matter what mommy tell you to do. And she should have known that since when she was having trouble in her pregnancy, what did she do? The Bible says she went to
To the
inquire
Lord.
of the Lord.
Yep.
Why didn't she do that when she heard what she heard Isaac say to Esau? She should have been like, Lord, I thought you said. That's what she should have done.
Yeah.
But that's not. So she fails. She has a lapse in faith. Jacob puts his trust in who? His mama.
His mama.
And of course, it gets him into 20 years of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I think now we're ready to move on to the next couple.
Okay. So 14 through 17.
Yes.
So he went and took them and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared delicious food such as his father loved.
Hmm.
Then Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her older son, which went with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And the skins of the young goats she put on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck.
Hmm.
And she put the delicious food and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob.
Wow. All right. She's working the plan.
Yes, she is.
She's working the plan.
We're gonna do this.
Oh man.
Oh man.
What about I mean there's a lot, but basically she's just going through and doing all of the things that would keep Jacob from being found out.
Yeah.
Straight up deception.
Yeah. The only thing, and you alluded to this earlier, Moyo, and this is probably me being nitpicky, but if you love your son food so much, how can anybody just prepare the food you love?
Maybe he learned how to cook it from his mom.
You might have.
I don't know.
I don't like that answer.
Well,
It's not conniving enough.
That's a
Not
good
conniving.
answer.
But it's a good answer.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Your
It's
mother
not conniving
teaches
enough.
you a lot of stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the food. Why do he have to go hunt for food specifically to make the food if we have the food? Like if we have the stuff to make the food at home, or is it different meat, different?
No, go ahead. Right. Answer. Go ahead. I see it.
Well, I think it's because the father wanted him to do something.
Right.
He gave him a task.
Right.
He wanted him to finish. If you can't finish this task, how are you going to run a whole household? Because when you get the rights of the birthright transferred to you, you become in charge of the entire household. So if I give you this one little task, which you were used to doing anyway, killing and hunting and killing animals, that's your thing. If you can't do this at my behest, how are you going to take care of the household when I'm gone? So go ahead and do that. I'm gonna wait for you. You prepare it. That's gonna take a little bit of time. I'm gonna wait for you, and then that's this little act that you should be fully capable of doing. It's gonna show me, yeah, he's ready to take over.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. I would not have thought through the whole this act puts you in the not in the mindset that you can actually take over. I can see that. When I first read it, I was just like, he wants him to do something that he does every day and bring me some food that I like. But I do like the idea of this sets you up. This lets me know that you can take over and do what you need to do
Yeah.
for the family. But as I looked it up, I was like, yeah, why didn't he just go get the goats? And the word game, one of the definitions talks about hunting to get food to get the game.
So do you think he was hunting for a goat or another type of animal?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Would Isaac know the difference between the meats?
that's
I don't
the
know.
thing.
That's a good question.
Remember, she knows how to prepare it. Whatever it is, she know how to fix it.
Rebecca is a beast.
Tasty
So
food.
do we think that the goat is just for the fur, or do we think that's what she actually cooked?
I think that she cooked the goat and then found use for the fur from the goat that she cooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only because different meat tastes different.
Yeah, I know. I get that. So I don't. But I mean, to the same point, when you go and you hunt, there's no guarantee what you're going to bring back,
Hmm.
right? It's not like it's deer season during that time, and you're going to bring back venison, right? It's probably at that point in time, whatever you catch is what you're going to eat and bring
Yeah.
back and cook.
So it could be anything.
Yeah,
Just cooked the way he
yeah.
likes.
Um, the only other thing that I wanted to bring up here is what do we make of the narrator seemingly emphasizing the fact that these were clothes that were Esau's clothes that were in their house? Because they seem to the narrator seems to emphasize that point, or at least it just jumped off the page to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's connected to the next sections, right? When
Mm-hmm.
we start talking about the deception happening, these are the things that need to be in place for this to work. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be dressed in Esau's clothing to smell like Esau.
Okay.
You have to
Yeah.
have hairy patches on your body to feel like him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was, well, we'll get there. But yeah,
We might. Nah,
today.
we'll get there. We're good. All right. Anything else on those couple verses?
Nope.
All right. Next up.
All right. Genesis 27, verses 18 to 25. So he went in to his father and said, My father. He said, Here I am. Who are you, my son?
Mm,
Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your
mm.
firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me. But Isaac said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? He answered, Because the Lord your God granted me success. Then Isaac said to Jacob, Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, who felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. He said, Are you really my son Esau? He answered, I am. Then he said, Bring it near to me that I may eat of my son's game and bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank.
All right. Continuing on. We got the son bringing the food to his dad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man,
That's deception.
There's just so
it's
many times that you had a chance to be like, never mind,
yep,
or just run out or something.
yep,
He's like, nah,
yeah.
sticking to it.
He went through it. He went through with it.
I mean, in the first couple of, he's telling two lies right off the bat. As soon as
I
he
am
walks
Esau.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did as you told me.
Right. You
Wow.
ain't do nothing.
He even added the part where he says, bless me, like let your soul bless me. And it's like those were words he specifically said to
Exactly what
Esau.
Mama
So
told
he
me.
said it exactly too. So it's like, you don't sound like him, but
I deviated
how
from
else would
Mom's
you
plan.
know?
I feel so see, and this is where when we were talking earlier about whether Isaac um knows the what was told to Rebekah while the children were in her womb from the Lord and them hustling, I'll call it that, right? And what the Lord had said to her. If Isaac knows this and he's carrying it out, I have a completely different view of him than if he doesn't know. Because if he doesn't know, it's like, oh, he's just being straight up deceived. If he does know, he should know better. And he's in this situation because he's not following what the Lord told him to do. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's impossible that he would have known. I'm not saying that at all. But it just paints it a little differently for me. Because when I first read that, not thinking that Isaac knew, I just felt so bad for him. I felt like he's doing everything he can
To confirm.
to make sure he's doing what he thinks is the right thing. But if he does know, then he's doing everything he can to make sure he's doing the wrong thing. you know?
Yeah.
So it's just this weird I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Or about this these several verses and Isaac, and how do you feel about him?
Ooh, it's interesting that a godly man with covenantal blessing knows the Lord, knows the voice of the Lord, has heard him speak to him, and still be deceived. Just to make a today application of this,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Christians think that they can't be deceived.
Mm.
They actually do think they cannot be deceived, which the Bible and other places tell you, don't be deceived.
Mhm.
Like, don't be deceived. God is not mocked. You're gonna reap what you sow. And
Mm.
yet many Christians ignore that verse and deceive themselves into thinking, I can do whatever I want. I won't reap what I sow because I know the Lord. I know
Mm.
God. I'm saved. I got a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. And so a lot of people, because the scriptures tell us in the New Testament that these things were written to teach us.
Right.
Okay. Not so that we would do the same things, but so that we would learn
Learn.
from what we see in the Old Testament
Right.
scriptures. And so people can be deceived. I can be deceived. You can be deceived.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If you don't adhere to the scriptures, if you don't settle in your heart that I'm going to believe God over everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
you can be just as easily deceived.
Yeah.
We see it. We've seen it in the last election. I'm not saying that all Republicans are deceived, but what I am saying is that when you say that the person who was elected to be our president is God's man, when you
Mm.
say stuff like that, and that I'm going to listen to him no matter what, you're deceived because he
Mhm.
doesn't espouse that belief in God himself.
No.
Yeah.
Where have you ever heard him say that? At least Obama actually says he believes in God. I'm not saying either one of them is God's man. All I'm saying is people can easily be deceived. I know Christians who very well meaning Christians
Mm.
who believe that whatever that man says out of his mouth is right,
Right.
no matter what. That's deception. It's not whatever people say, it's whatever God says is right. And if, like you said, if Isaac knew what the Lord said to his wife Rebekah about those
Mm-hmm.
children, then that changes the light in which we have to read his actions in this passage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if he knew and he believed that the younger was supposed to be over the older,
Right.
then everything he's doing is against what God
What
has
God
said.
said. Yep.
Pretty much.
Purposefully
Yeah.
Yeah.
against it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's being naive and he's willfully trying to change the course
Mm-hmm.
of what God has said. And he's a man of God. That's without
That
question.
right.
That's without dispute. He is the chosen
He's the
seed.
one. Right. God blessed him. He's the one that carries
Right.
the covenant going forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was all a whole different light. A whole different light. Do you have any thoughts on this scene, Moyo?
No, no, I don't have anything additional.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Go ahead.
funny in verse 20 though, where he said, because the Lord your God granted you
Woo!
success. That's why I found it so quick.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Dude, you're even going to use
Yes.
God against him
Yes.
Yeah.
to make your deception work better?
Woo.
Wow.
It gave me shades of the garden.
Hmm.
It was the woman you gave me.
Right.
You try and blame the Lord for this?
Yeah.
But notice he calls him your God. He
Yeah.
doesn't say our God. He
Mm.
says your God.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good one.
So
That's good.
Jacob is not, even though I think he, because his father is has a relationship with God,
Good one. Yeah.
he kind of is being crafted in here, but he doesn't trust God either.
Yeah.
Mm.
From what this passage shows us,
Mm-hmm.
because he's willing to deceive his godly father,
Right.
and he's willing to use God's name, the Lord. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think I counted like 4 lies that Jacob said. Oh, it says he's Esau. I did as you told me. The
This
Lord your God granted me success. And then Isaac asks him again, are you my son Esau? And he says, I am.
Yeah.
Like,
mm,
man. So,
old face lie.
but the what Rebekah wanted, and apparently, if Jacob is willing to go through these steps, what Jacob wants is going to be done here. And we can't forget to point out, and I'm glad that you continue to bring it up, that the Lord has actually already mandated this.
Right.
The means as to how it's getting done
Yeah.
is
That's the problem.
yeah,
Already said God already said he was going to be the one.
and it's not right. It's not good. It's
Right.
not upstanding. It's not right. It's right, but that's the
Not
awesomeness of God
still.
that he takes us in as agents and works his plan that cannot be denied through anything that we bring. It's still going to work out exactly the way he did it. If this didn't happen, it would still work out the way that he wanted it to
Mhm.
because he's God. So, all right. Anything else on those several verses? Genesis chapter 27, verses 26 through 29. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near and kiss me, my son." So he came near and kissed him, and Isaac smelled the smell of his garments and blessed him and said, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you when nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." So he gives them the blessing. He carries it out. There's one last test, though. It was one last thing that I mean, he was using all the senses. He's like, I can't see, but I'm gonna do everything to try and make sure that this is who I think it is.
Yeah, he did use all his senses.
Yep. There's five, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He can't use sight.
Right.
So 4.
So taste, smell, touch, hearing. The hearing one is the one that he couldn't.
Didn't use.
He, it was like
Tried.
he tried. He's like, you sound like, but you feel like
Yeah. I mean, he had
some ain't
3 out
adding
of
up.
4, so he's like 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm tripping.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's me.
That brother old.
Yeah. So what about the blessing? The first line, what I find interesting because it says, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed." I mean, that to me is just sort of like speaking to his exuberance, his joyfulness, his um, desire and happiness that it is who he thinks it is. It is that he's getting ready to bless.
Mhm.
I mean, do y'all take it that way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the introduction. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about the rest of it? I mean,
Yeah, that's the actual blessing.
right.
28.
So what about the things that he's blessing him with?
He's passing it on.
Yeah, when he says the dew of heaven
This
and
is
the
real.
fatness of the earth,
It's very real.
right? He's talking about abundance in a way, right?
Mhm.
Like these things will be available to you, and
Yeah.
it's all inclusive, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like basically like what he received when he planted, when he sowed.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says
Good
he
point.
got 100-fold.
Right.
Well, he's conferring this onto him as
Right.
well. When you sow, you will get the fatness. You will get plenty of grain and wine. That it's going to happen for you just like it happened for me
Mm-hmm.
because the blessing is being transferred. And then he goes even further, though. He says, peoples are going to serve you, nations, and bow down to you.
Right.
And he's going to be lord over his brothers, and his mother's sons will bow down to him. So
Yeah.
he's giving him the rule, basically, which he
Mm-hmm.
did get, later on.
Yep.
Um, his hand was over his brothers. And he
Mm-hmm.
even passes in the other blessings like Abraham got. Cursed be everyone who
Curses
curses you,
and
and blessed be
blessings.
everyone who blesses you.
Yeah.
You are the blessed of the Lord,
Mm.
which Isaac was. Now
Right.
it's yours.
Now it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. You're the man.
Exactly. I mean, this is all encompassing, and I think we'll
Mhm.
see that even more detailed as we look further.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 that he didn't touch on was the offspring, like the multiplying of his offspring
Mm-hmm.
and the land. You
Right.
don't have the passing down of the land in the blessing,
But I think it's inherent, and
the
so this I
birthright.
think gets us to birthright blessing,
Hmm.
and I kind of see them as two separate things. But I think what you're saying, Ron, is that they maybe look, but there's a linkage between them that makes them sort of flow together every step of the way.
Yeah, because the inheritance for the firstborn is doled out by the firstborn. But if this is true, that can't be true for Esau.
Right.
It can't be because all of the blessing is going to the younger son now. So and you see it too by what he says he only gets when Esau comes back and
Right.
says, "Hey, you got a blessing for me still, Dad?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, yours gonna be a little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you basically gonna have to scrape in the wilderness for yours.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get the fatness and the plenty, and you're gonna have to work for yours basically, and you're not gonna be the one in charge."
Mm-mm.
And this is exactly what was said to Rebekah, right? The older is going to have to serve the younger.
Right.
Well, peoples are going to serve you, and nations going to bow down to you,
Yep.
and you're going to be lord of your brothers.
Yeah.
So Jacob's going to be lord of Esau and any other
And even
siblings that his parents would have, if any, right?
Yep.
And the curses. Wow, the curses. Anybody who says a word against you is cursed.
Right.
And anybody who's blessed, who blesses you, is going to be blessed because of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Abraham was told.
Yeah.
And just like Abraham conferred all of his wealth on Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
that's what happens when the firstborn gets this blessing.
Right.
All of the wealth is going to go to Jacob, even though Esau is going to have part of it because he is a son, but he doesn't get to dole it out because the firstborn doles it out. If there's three portions, two portions go to the firstborn, and
Mm-hmm.
one portion goes to the other son. Okay, if you have multiple sons, it doesn't matter. The firstborn still gets two,
Right.
and everybody else gets another piece.
Yep.
But it's not just that they get another piece. The firstborn is in control of all the other pieces to give to the others.
Yeah.
So that blessing is basically being conferred to him in this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be confirmed later by God Himself.
Right.
It's just that Jacob has to learn some lessons first
Yeah.
before they're confirmed on him.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. All right. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention because I found it interesting that he talks about brothers, and I'm like, there was only one other brother. We're not told of a bunch of brothers. So I think that just as in the what the Lord told Rebekah that you have nations, I think it's spreading it's not just him, but spreading out to progeny and spreading out to nations and what happens further down the line, not just with them.
Mm.
So
Well, it's also for the family too, for the rest of the family.
right.
Like Rebecca has other family,
So you think it extends to like
like
Laban and
Laban.
all of
Yeah,
those
because
folks?
Jacob's going to he's going to be over everybody in the family. They don't know it yet, but he's going to be chief among everybody in the
Okay.
family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
could give
just
it that.
don't know it yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even Laban's going to be scared to even say anything bad to him.
Yeah.
Because God's going to appear to him and be like, if you say one word I don't tell you to say,
Mm.
you're going to get it.
You in trouble.
So he's going to have to serve Jacob as well.
Yep.
And it's going to give his daughters away.
Yeah.
So Jacob's going to be in charge.
Yeah. But I think
Woohoo.
it still can be possible that there are other sons, right? Because we've like the story of Adam and Eve, you have three that we're told about: Cain, Abel, Seth, but there's other sons
But
and
we're told
daughters.
there are others though. Yeah.
But they're saying son, your mother's sons. It's not saying,
Right.
so you're saying
But
her sons are siblings,
but
just family?
I don't think that there's any other children recorded at all from Rebecca.
Yeah.
He didn't have any more children after this.
So I think
She's older by now too.
yeah, and I think your point. I see what you're saying because we had the same type of discussion with Adam. Like, and people bring it up all the time. Well, where did where did um where did Cain
Find a wife.
find a wife? Where did Seth find a wife to have
Mhm.
kids by? Oh, we're just told about a couple of the children that were born to Adam and Eve. We're not told about everyone.
Yeah.
And I think that is what was needed during that time of people, and we weren't going to get every child that was born from them. Even like we talked about in Genesis 5, where it talks about most of the those that are born or those that are in the line, that was the focus. Here, I think you're trying to get a little more specific because it is more important that we all know who's who in the zoo, so to speak, right? So who is the one that is selected against anyone else? Because if you think about it, you really didn't have to bring up Abraham's sons by Keturah,
Yeah.
right? It's nice to know them. It's nice to know that they were not put away. That's not the right way to do it. But they were sent away. But they were sent away so that we could focus on Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
right?
still around, but they're not
Right,
primary.
right. So I think there's a little difference there.
But she's got other family out there for sure.
Yeah, with Laban and all of them,
Yeah.
and we're not told much about that. That's that line once we get to Laban. I don't think we will learn about his daughters, but beyond that, I don't know. We find out too much about his family, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Next up, Mr. Ron.
Okay, 30 through 33. As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, when Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also prepared delicious food and brought it to his father. And he said to his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that you may bless me. His father Isaac said to him, who are you?
Mm,
He answered, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Isaac trembled very violently
mm,
and said, who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate it all before you came, and I have blessed him. Yes, and he shall be blessed.
wow. All right, Moyo, what you think? What's going on?
I, I don't even know. I just feel bad for Esau because he did all this work and it just kind of means nothing.
Yeah,
Phew.
He, and it's just like he missed him just like that. Like,
yeah. I don't
but
know.
he still knew. Like,
I don't know how y'all thought of it, but I thought of it like a slow motion, like a movie, and they
come out
walk
the
the
front and
people,
the other one comes
yeah,
up the back.
or better yet, they pass by each other and something just happened and one not know what the others got going on, and I could see Jacob like, gotcha, as he walks by, and Esau just like, okay, I'm going to get my blessing now, right? It seems it's that close.
Yeah.
That's what it meant. That's the vision that this painted for me.
Yeah, and it painted for me like you went out this way,
Yeah, and you
I
came
came
in
in
the other
this
way.
way. So I don't even see you come
Yeah,
through. But the response from my dad makes me know it probably was you because you're
Oh yeah.
you're
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man,
he knew who it was,
yeah.
definitely. It had
And
to be him.
Isaac is upset. It says he trembled very violently. I mean, visibly upset, almost like ah.
Shaking.
Is it
So
upset or afraid?
I think he's upset. I think he's upset because he's been duped. That's why he asked the question. That's my take. I don't think he's afraid per se.
Because his question is who was it then? Like I'm scared of what just happened. Like I just ate that food. What if it was poison? That's how I felt. Like
Gosh.
he's like, who was it that just fed me? I ate all of it. So it feels more like I'm shaking in fear of what just happened. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, I don't think you can look at this in isolation from what happened before. Because he knew what happened before, he was told all the right things,
Yeah.
right? He knew and was told, all right, I bought this food so that you can bless me.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that he was trying to make sure he was blessing the right person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here he's not worried about the fact that he ate. He's more upset that I thought that was Esau, even though one of my senses failed me. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this for him, for Esau. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to do that for the other person. And we'll find out even in the next verse that he knows who it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to the next verses. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't think he was scared. I think he was just mad,
He
upset.
deduced it, right? He deduced it in the
Hmm.
next two verses too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what happened now.
The last thing, what do you all take of when when I Isaac says yes, and he shall be blessed?
He take it back. He blessed him. He can't take that back. It doesn't matter how it happened. He's already pronounced that blessing. That's why we said earlier it's a formal blessing. It's formal. It's not okay, we're gonna try this out for a week.
Hmm.
No, once I say this about whoever's standing next to me, in front of me, that I'm conferring it on, that's how it's passing from
Right.
generation to generation,
Yep.
and it's going to happen.
Yep.
Isaac had that authority,
Yeah.
just like Abraham had the authority to do it to Isaac.
Hmm.
He sent the other son away and gave him all of his possessions. Basically, what he's doing. He's rich, so he's conferring it on.
Yeah. And there's a finality it seems that's to it. There's a no take back. There's almost like a stamp. Boom. Still delivered. The business deal is done, and you can't revert it. Right.
Mhm.
That's why he trembled so very
Hmm.
violently.
That's why I was upset. I
You
agree.
can't reverse this. It's done.
Hmm.
Can't help you, son.
Which yeah, which is exactly what he's saying to Esau. I can't help you. It's done. Yes, and he shall be blessed. What I told him is going to happen. So I don't know. I felt bad for Esau as well. But again, the light is if it's like everybody has, and this is true of people that everybody has a flaw because if the birthright and the blessing are tied as tightly together as we're talking about, and it's been mentioned, then Esau knows he shouldn't be here, which you brought up before, right? So now it's like, yeah, I feel bad for Esau, but you know you shouldn't be here in the first place. So what you doing? Right? It's this whole thing, but you can't take away from the way there's when I read this, there's ways that scriptures make me feel when I read it. And I think the author, the narrator, the author does that on purpose to try and bring you to let's just read the next part because I think he gets into it there as well. What's next?
Genesis 27:34 to 40. As soon as Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with an exceeding great and bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me, even me also, O my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully, and he has taken away your blessing." Esau said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing." Then he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" Isaac answered and said to Esau, "Behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers I have given to him for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Have you but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, "Behold, away from the fatness of the earth shall your dwelling be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck."
Man. So I mean, just the writing of this, I mean, it's like exceedingly great and bitter cry. How can you word that since that it gives this sense of pain and the different I mean, exceedingly great? What is exceedingly great? You know? I mean, it's like, man. And then when he says, bless me, even me also, oh, it's like, ah, I feel it.
Yeah, it reminds me of when we talked about Joseph crying and everybody in the household heard it. Like
Yeah.
everybody heard it.
Yep.
And we were like, wow, we didn't know he had so much emotion built up from this
Right.
situation. And we knew he despised his birthright. Esau despised his birthright, but now it's like, but did did you want it or not? Because
Yeah.
now you didn't care, and now all of a sudden it's like, what about me?
Right. That's why I said he struck me as being more pragmatic. Like in the now, this is what I want. And so in the now with food, he was like, "Man, whatever, birthright,
Yeah.
okay." Now it's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to go get the blessing. I'm doing all this work because I know exactly what I'm going to get, and this is important to me." And now it's like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think part of that, again, we were talking about maturing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the boys are still growing.
Yeah.
And so when he meets them in the field and gives them the stew, it's probably years later now, and dad
Mm-hmm.
is about to die.
Yeah.
So we don't kind of see the passage
The-
of time sometimes when we read it, but he's probably gotten an appreciation by now of,
yeah.
I'm gonna
That
be
could be
in
it.
charge of
I
everything,
like
and
that.
the family, dad's gonna leave everything to me. And so he thinks.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he evidently doesn't know about the younger being over
No.
the older part,
No.
and
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, I'm about to get this blessing now. Dad done called me in the tent, and all I gotta do is go make him some food real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he thinking he gonna get everything.
Yeah.
It's like if one of us had parents that were billionaires and we found out at the last minute
We weren't in the
we
will.
weren't really gonna get what we thought we were gonna get. We're gonna get a little piece instead of the whole enchilada.
Wait, he gave it all to the horse?
Segment.
Yeah.
I'm just getting 50 billion. You only giving
Right.
me one? Because he's still gonna get
Something.
a portion of the
Right.
inheritance. He's just not gonna get the
You're
major
not gonna get the
portion.
major. Yeah.
But when
Oh
he's
man.
begging for a blessing still, what is he asking for?
He's asking for a blessing. For something.
But according to what we're saying, he's gonna get something.
He's gonna
So
get something.
And
But
he's
he's
gonna but see, that's where I think there's a distinction between the birthright and the blessing. Because for the birthright, I think, like you said, the 2/3 and the 1/3, right, of all that you get. Now with the blessing, it's not phrased that way. It's that you're going to be Lord and that you're going to have abundance of wealth and that you're going to be protected, right? Curses and blessings. And you're going to have this esteem, this honor, this ruling power, even political power in your nation and your life and your progeny and your offspring.
part of it spiritual too.
Yes, all
It's not just all things.
agree.
You know, it's I'm the next in line. The names are not going to be Abraham, Isaac, and Esau.
Right,
It's
mhm,
going to be Abraham, Isaac,
Isaac.
and Jacob.
Right,
yeah.
That's how it's going to flow from now on.
right.
You know, so it's more than just the
Agree.
the the the, the tangible inheritance. Like he said, I blessed him, and he gonna be blessed. You, on the other hand,
So, do we think that Esau
I mean, he's not putting him
has
out.
that? No, he's not. I agree. Not
He's
yet.
gonna still have a place to live, and he's still the son of a very rich man.
Yeah.
He's the son of a billionaire, right? But he's not what Jacob is.
So, do we think that Jacob has that spiritual item in mind?
I think he does, but he doesn't fully grasp it. He's still immature in it. He's got to grow quite a bit, and he gonna find out that he's got to grow once he gets to Laban's
No,
house.
I mean like Esau. Does Esau,
This is Esau,
right? Because he's still, to Moyle's point, he's still asking to be blessed,
right?
and everything that Isaac is saying when it comes to the blessing is air quotes is what he. I mean, I don't have to do air quotes because it's what he said is
Yeah,
about abundance, right? Fatness
absolutely.
of the earth and dew of
Yeah,
heaven. And to me, Esau is like, is there any way for me to get any of
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's too late.
it? Yeah. So
It's too late.
I think he's just reaching and grasping for like, is there anything that you can take back? Anything, any straw that you can give me concerning that?
I mean, you said about he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry.
Right.
He is realizing just how much this is worth. I think he's only just now realizing because he's lost it.
Uh-huh.
It must be, he must realize that this is greater than he could have really imagined.
Okay,
Mm.
right.
Because the father has now said he's not just blessed, he's going to be blessed. He's
Right.
blessed now and he's going to be blessed in the
Right.
future.
Yeah.
Then there's no ripping it away from him. There's
Mm-mm.
nothing I can say. I don't even have the authority to take it back from him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm the man of the house now.
Right. And I can't even
And
do
I
it.
can't do anything about this
Right.
because it supersedes what I can do. This is God doing this
Mm.
through me
Right.
covenantally through the chosen people,
Right.
and now He's chosen him.
Right.
It's apparent that He's chosen him, even though we didn't
Right.
act
We
like
didn't
He
do
had
that.
chosen him
Right.
before.
Right.
Now it's apparent
Now it right.
because He got your blessing, even though He stole it.
He got
He got your blessing,
you
Yeah.
done so.
and you ain't getting it back.
No.
I
But
can't
he
even give it to you if I wanted to.
and he's oh bless me, even me. Oh my father. That's just
And His blessing, this
wrenching.
one last blessing, is like opposite what He told Jacob.
I heard it. I was reading and it was like it's an anti-blessing.
Yeah, it's like He getting the fatness. You're gonna be away from the
You gonna
fatness.
be
You're not gonna
away
be near that.
from it.
Like
Yeah.
what?
It's like it would have been better for you to just not tell me anything.
Right.
Just let
Yeah.
me live.
Just let me
Yeah.
find out on my own.
I don't need this.
Away from the dew of heaven. Hold up a
Right.
second. I need rain. How am I
Right.
gonna live without rain?
How am I gonna do anything?
Come on.
And not just being Lord, but the sword is a weapon
Just
for
like
like
a sword.
fighting,
So,
not just hunting like a bow. This is
right.
much like Ishmael. You're going to be a wild donkey of a man.
Yeah.
You gonna be out there fighting for everything that you get.
Exactly. That's bad.
That means you won't have a very peaceful life.
Hmm.
Yeah. and
And
and then he gives them, I think, in that anti-blessing, one morsel of hope, even though it's worded interestingly. But when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck.
that's crazy.
Like, and the word yoke from your neck almost makes it seem animal-like.
Hmm.
But it's like there may come a time when, well, there will come a time when you'll actually be free, uh, in a sense. So,
Wow.
and then we'll say, just note that historically, right, as you continue to read through Kings and Chronicles and stuff, that you see the Edomites in Israel going back and forth at it, and Israel has the upper hand on Edom.
Mm.
So,
And even when Esau does have the upper hand for temporarily, God punishes him for having it.
mm,
Mm.
He's like, you should have done this when your brother came into the wilderness, but you did that. Now I'm gonna
right,
get you.
right,
And the prophets decried these curses against Esau and Edom, and it's like, oh man, it's
yeah.
crazy.
So to your point earlier, Ron, this is spiritual impacts, national impacts in the way that God is dealing with the nations around his chosen people.
Mhm.
So, all right. Anything else there? Genesis chapter 27, verses 41 to 46. Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. But the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, behold, your brother Esau comforts himself about you by planning to kill you. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise, flee to Laban, my brother, in Haran, and stay with him a while, until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereft of you both in one day? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I loathe my life because of the Hittite women. If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me? All right, that closes us up.
Mm, mm, mm.
Again, I'm saying Rebecca's been running this whole thing. she's gets told somehow, some way about what Esau plans to do, and then works out something according.
Yeah, it says Esau said it to himself. So I'm
Like, yeah, how?
did you say it out loud to yourself and somebody heard it, or did you that's weird that she found out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he must have said it out loud.
yeah.
It's like when Sarah was in the tent, so whispering to herself or talking to herself, and then the angel was like, "What'd you say?" Like,
It was the angel of the Lord
yeah.
that was like, I heard what she said. Why
Yeah.
did she say that? Why is she in there laughing?
So we're
And she was like, no, I didn't. He's like, yes, you did.
So what does it mean when they say to themselves? Is it like I'm like mumbling type of thing, or
I don't know. I
You
don't.
would have said it out. I mean, we talk to ourselves all the
I
time.
don't talk to myself out
You don't say it out loud.
out
I didn't
loud.
mean to do that.
Yeah, I do that.
You might not
I'm gonna
remember
kill
that
my
you did it.
brother. That sounds
That sounds
crazy.
crazy.
But he was
Say it out
upset
loud.
though. He was really upset. I mean, he was just crying.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I believe Esau. I don't believe you though.
It's like, wait till I get my hands on him.
Oh man, but I mean, he was upset.
Yeah.
Gave me again shades of Cain and Abel. Right?
Yeah.
He
He
says he
wants to
hated
do
him.
his brother in.
He's willing to wait for his dad to die though, which was interesting to me.
Yeah,
It's like I'll wait when the old man dies.
I can't
I'm
do
gonna
it in
kill
front
him.
of dad.
yeah, and I think that's one of the difference between the Cain and Abel story and this one. That in the Cain and Abel story, it seemed to be out of an emotions, heightened emotions, like ah. But here, it's like
Premeditated.
I'm gonna be calculated about this
But
and
he
make
thought
sure it happens at the right time.
he seemed to think Jacob was gonna stick around for his plan.
Well, there was
But he
no
didn't
reason
know
for
that.
him not to.
Yeah, he didn't know that Jacob's about to get out of Dodge, right? So think about it. If I kill Jacob, I become
You
the
get it,
ruler of the
right?
house again.
Yep.
Especially if
That's how
dad
you
is
get it back.
gone, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
He can't
that's why
have
he
any
wanna
more
wait.
kids. So
Once dad's gone, the only two men in the house are me and Jacob.
Right.
So if I kill Jacob, I'm in charge again.
Guess who got to go?
mm,
Blessing or no blessing, I got it. Because he's dead. He
Because
don't
it
need no
gone.
blessing.
Oh man.
Crazy.
But in and through this, Rebecca still works up another plan to look out for baby boy. She's like, I'm gonna send you off. I read some things in commentaries that they thought, but the way it's worded is that it would be a short amount of time that she was thinking, like on the order of days. And I'm
days.
like, there's just no way. To think that he would forget this.
Not in days. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't even think she believed what she was saying, that he was going to forget. How do you
How
forget
do you
this?
forget? Yeah, you don't forget this.
Nah,
Not something that you bitterly cried about.
nah.
Or she trying to convince Jacob,
Right.
like just go for a little
It's only
bit
going to be temporary.
and I'll send for you.
Right.
But then she's also telling Isaac, you know, send him so that he doesn't marry these type of
Right. He
women.
needs a reason to get him out of here
Yeah.
Right.
because you don't want to let him know that she was part of this plan.
Right.
So look, he got to go because brother trying to kill him. So he need to go. He need to leave.
Well, she didn't even tell Isaac
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Her reason is I don't want her to marry like Esau did.
You're right.
So let's send him to my back home so he can get a wife out the family
Mm-hmm.
and not one of these Hittite women.
Right. Which brings you back to what was said at the end of last chapter, and we mentioned in the all right. So boom,
Yeah.
that these Hittite women
Dealt
that
with them.
Esau was married to were bringing them issues that were causing them to have a harder life, is what
Yeah.
it sounded like.
Made life bitter.
Made life bitter. Mara. Made life bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter. So it's like she takes that and then rolls it forward to be like, yeah, this is why we got to send them away. Because it wasn't just her life, I think,
Yeah.
that it
both
was
of
it
them.
was both of them.
Right.
So it's like
That they should have married in the family.
I remember when we were going through Joseph's story and we kept saying that Joseph is like just one smart dude who just kept making like really smart moves one time after another. Rebecca seems to be the same way, where she's just able to put pieces together and get things to work the way that she wants them to.
Mm.
He keeps hearing stuff.
That's what I tried to say at the beginning. That's what I was trying to say at the beginning. Like, when you look at for everything that's going on, who has the knowledge of all the things that are happening? It's Rebecca. I mean, I'm not so the Lord is obviously orchestrating all of this, but in the envelope of humanity and the actions that are being taken, she's um telling Jacob to obey her voice. She's overhearing the things that are important, so she knows how to get things done the way she wants them done,
Yeah.
and still try and save face in it all.
Mm.
Um, and then the last thing is, she said that I would be bereft if I lost both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Esau lost?
Yeah, but I feel like both of them are lost. I feel like Esau will never be the same. And you're going to send Jacob away. And we know that it's not going to be for a short period of time.
Mm.
And I was trying to think of when we find out about Rebecca's death. Maybe that'll come up as we continue to read, but that'll be an interesting thing to look at in terms of Jacob's return and where is Rebecca in that.
Mm.
So anything else in those couple verses?
No.
All right. So we want to say thanks again to Ron sitting in with us, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Moyo, for all you do and putting up with me. And with that, that is an episode in the can, and we are out of here. Deuces.
Bye.